St Ives in Cambridgeshire is a market town with a beautiful landscape. It is host to the Oliver Cromwell statue, the fabulous Norris Museum, and an elegant river that runs through the middle. World War II brought disruption and chaos to this town, in particular to the young residents who faced evacuation. KIC, in partnership with the Norris Museum, has worked with a number of young and local children to help them explore what life was like for those their age during this historic time.
KIC and the Norris Museum came together to try and think of some project ideas that we could do working together in partnership, and I thought it would be a really lovely idea to get some young people from the local secondary school, St Ives School, to come along to the museum and find out more about what life was like for young people living in St Ives during the Second World War.
A group of 8 students, supported by the museum, KIC and a team of volunteers, have participated in various activities to understand the importance that these activities had on wartime children.
I would describe the KIC Legacy project as it's a way of bringing people together, but we're doing an exhibition for the Second World War.
A lot of the things we've been doing is like taster sessions of different art forms that we've been using.
So at first we had the taster sessions, so we had lots of different people come in and we just did things we wanted to do, as in we did pottery, and we were allowed to do whatever we wanted. And then we started getting the people coming in again, and we started doing the things that would be shown in the exhibition.
We've done a bit of drama, some pottery where we're making little ceramic tiles. Each one was unique to each of us. I did one as a late birthday present for my sister.
So there's been screen printing, which is quite fun.
Music, drama.
Filming.
Painting.
Animating and making things out of clay, all to be used in our final exhibition of what life was like for children in World War II.
I've really enjoyed all of what we've done, but there's some which really stand out for me. I really enjoyed doing the screen printing. So my screen print is about loose lips, lose lives. So I've got a picture of a pair of lips with a cross over it, and it says loose lips, lose lives, and it's a bit like a tea towel.
My favourite was like filming. I can't wait for people to be entertained by the film.
What for all these children doing here in St Ives? Living in London was a danger to their lives.
The KIC Legacy project is about making an exhibition for the Norris Museum. To create the exhibition, we've done a few taster sessions of different forms of art that we can use.
My favourite workshop was pottery, and we basically had a circular base, and then we could put what we wanted on it, and I put like a bird that I drew ages ago and I just really liked it, so I just put it pottery, and then we had to paint it, and then I put a rainbow in the background because why not?
My favourite workshops, well, there was 2 that I really liked. One was a thing called screen printing, and the other one I liked was animation. Animation was really fun because there's a few ways to do it. You can do drawing animation, where you slowly frame by frame draw it. There's a thing called a lightbox animation, which is kind of like using shadows to move.
What have you done so far on the project?
We have done different art things for it, and yeah.
What have you enjoyed the most?
I like the acting part and the pottery. The clay.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Daisy. Why are you here, Daisy?
Because it's an amazing opportunity.
What have you done so far with this project?
We've done acting and pottery and music and drama.
What activity is your favourite?
I like doing the clay.
My favourite part was the animation and the screen printing because it's really amazing to do something so simple with very small movements for the animation, come out with something that looks amazing.
Meeting the artists has been so much fun. They're really nice and we've really gotten to learn much more about what their job there you do, and we've done so many things and it's amazing.
It was actually really fun to meet some of the artists who, you know, do this for a living because we went along and we had no idea what we were doing, and for, say, the screen printing one, we met a woman called Ricky, and she helped us find out how this works. She brought in all the equipment for us, and all we had to do was cut out the templates and just paste the paint onto the pictures, and it came out really amazing.
That's so good. Let me just check my goodness. Let me give it a little blot.
So they've been working with professional artists in ceramics, textile, willow, music.
I was involved with the music side of things. We created a song with the students. We did this over 2 sessions, and in the first one I just talked with them and found out what the general project was about, and it was they'd interviewed some who are now elderly citizens who had been here during the wartime, World War II, and we sort of brainstormed about what was like based on their interviews with these and what life was like during the wartime. And so we just put together a bunch of some of the things that they remembered from the interview, what these old gentlemen and ladies had talked about. And we just imagined what life was like here in St Ives back during World War II. And we just incorporated some of these lines, just anecdotal little lines that they remembered as a verse, and then we came up with a little chorus about how in St Ives we're lucky. As in, we're sort of a bit shielded away from London where most of the bombing took place, and I know it was other places too. So yeah, so on the second session we took those ideas and then we came up with a melody. Some of them hummed a little thing and all right, let's take that, and then just sort of structured it like that, and then I came back actually in another time and we just recorded it.
This project has been funded by the National Lottery through the Heritage Fund. We're very fortunate to be successful in getting a grant from them to run this project, and we felt it was really important for young people to be able to connect with the heritage of where they've come from. So a lot of people that have done this project have learned so much about St Ives, and it's given them a newfound respect for the community that they live in, and they're really getting involved and wanting to create this lasting resource for their community, so giving back to the place that they live in, and they spend so much of their time at school. If they're from the villages, they might not live in St Ives itself, but they're in the surrounding areas. So it's so important for them to connect with that heritage and feel part of something much bigger and understand how St Ives has developed over the years.
I've learned quite a lot about what life was like for children of St Ives and the surrounding areas during World War II, like that some places during St Ives weren't like that whatsoever, like how Waitrose used to be the old train station.
I learned that there was actually quite a lot of things going on in St Ives in World War II, how, you know, there were a lot of evacuees coming here into the countryside, and yeah, how there were, you know, there's RAF Whitton near here, so they were very involved in it.
Well, one of our interviewees, they talked about their first ever hearing of a air raid siren when they were playing outside with their friend, and then the friend's mum came out to came out and put them underneath the stairs because that was the safest part in all of the house.
I made spam on pottery, and it kind of made me, even though it's a bit, you know, weird, but it made me kind of think, you know, that's like all they had to eat. You know, they couldn't eat much. All they could eat was spam and some other stuff, and you know, it might have been quite hard rationing. Relatively speaking, we've been in a fairly peaceful time, I think, in society and the world as a whole for the last, say, 10, 15, or as long as these little ones have been alive, little ones, but teenagers, and to think that it was a fairly big deal. You know, for my parents were born in the wartime, and my grandparents were born just after World War I, and it was very much part of their life. You know, it was just, it affected the world as a whole, and it kind of imprinted on society everywhere. And for them these teenagers, these young people, to sort of just be exposed and just to understand that, I think the price that was paid by people who are no longer with us, I don't ever think that can be sort of dismissed or sort of dismissed lightly, yeah.
It would be hard to imagine anything but peace and tranquility, but this walk was in fact walked by evacuees escaping the horrors of war.
So today the group recreated the walk that evacuee children would have done when they arrived in St Ives on the train from London, between the train station in St Ives to the Corn Exchange, which is where the evacuee children were taken and then waited to be picked by the families that they were going to live with during the war years. We worked with a drama practitioner to really help the group get into the mindset of how these children would be feeling and what might be going through the mind of an evacuee child. There was a particular story that we referred to where one of the children thought they were going to the beach. They thought they were going to St Ives in Cornwall, so this massive sort of disappointment of no sea, no sand when they got off the train at St Ives, Cambridgeshire. So really taking on board all the different feelings, the emotions. Where were they? They were without their parents for the first time, just possibly with people they knew from their school, or maybe they had siblings with them. So a lot of character to kind of think about and develop. So today they put all that together and actually did the walk from where the train station would have been, because it's no longer in St Ives, through to the Corn Exchange, where these children would have been doing exactly the same thing in the Second World War. So it was quite moving, quite a lot for them to take on board, and they did it brilliantly.
I think kind of skill I've learned is to just not be afraid to speak out, like when we're coming up with creative ideas. I've kind of learned to just, you know, tell any of my ideas, because we can you know, evolve on it and make it into something even better.
I think I've really, through these sessions, grown from being someone who's very shy and, you know, doesn't really talk to people very much, to someone who talks to people a lot more, tries to get involved with people.
The good thing about being part of the group is that I'd meet new people, and it's kind of, you know, made my confidence go up, because, you know, we're meeting a lot of people every day that we come here, and it's nice.
When I first came with them, it was quite early on in the project, so I was new to them, but I think they were new to each other in a sense. But it was like 3 hours each session, so within sort of probably an hour or so, we managed to get a nice little bit of, I don't know, synergy or a bit of momentum there. But they just felt a little bit more confident, I guess, the second time through. They were more comfortable again with each other, but then with me having returned, it was a few month gap in between.
I am so ridiculously proud of the children, of the young people that have been part of the KIC Legacy project. When we first met 9-10 months ago, they were very quiet, really unsure of what was happening and their place, their role within the group, and they have just flourished over the months. They've really pushed themselves out of their comfort zones. We've asked them to get involved in drama, music, some of which isn't what they have done before. So it's really new experiences for them, new disciplines within the arts for them to think about, and also learning more about the area that they live and what the older generations would have experienced living in St Ives, and how different that is to how they experience St Ives now. So the impact of that, I've seen the group really develop in confidence, in self-esteem. Their creativity has just blossomed. They've been absolutely brilliant to work with, and their ideas and their drive for this exhibition has been great, and everything that is now part of our Kick Legacy exhibition has 100% come from them and their ideas, which is really great. I'm really proud of them.
I think to summarise the project is just it's been full of you know, surprise and happiness and anger and sadness, just everything, because you know, meeting new people is insane, and it's just amazing what we've created.
All in all, my experience at the museum has just been amazing and a great time.
This project has been fun, amazing and speechless.
So it's been really enjoyable. I've had lots of fun. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Not many people get to do this type of thing, and so I'm so glad that I was chosen. And I've really enjoyed it, the experience, and it's just been amazing.